गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. So our Dhritarashtra, he was asking that what is silence, and to that our Sanat Sujatiya answered that those, when from the mind even the impressions of Vedas have gone away, then alone that what remains, that silence that remains, is the true silence, and that is pure consciousness, or that is the truth, and that is you. Don't forget that. And in this way, the second question that he asked, those twice born study the Vedas, such as the four Vedas, are they influenced by the sins if they commit some? Sanat Sujata ji answered, Nainan samanya rucho vapi yajunshi cha vichakshanaha trayante karmanah papan nate mithya bravimyaham. Oh, the most intelligent Dhritarashtra, I won't tell you the untruth. None of the Vedas like Rig Veda, Yajur Veda and Sam Veda can protect him from the sinful deeds. Meaning, study of scriptures is not meant for atoning for the sins that we have committed in our life, knowingly or unknowingly, but study of scriptures is only for one purpose, and that is to realize the truth. That is the only purpose. And I explained to you last class how you neutralize everything, because everything in this, all the sins are committed only in the relativity, because you consider yourself to be the individual. Where do all the sins go? Where do all the merits go? यहाँ पे है एक जगह एक. Where do all the merits go? When you go to sleep, all you do is focus on the sleep, and the whole world and all your relationships and all your commissions and omissions, regrets, guilts, aspirations, ambitions, expectations, fears, anxieties, phobias, everything goes out of your mind by itself. You don't send it out. You don't, no, I'm going to, like that Dumbledore, taking it out from your mind and putting it into the sea. You're not doing that. This is what yogis do. They try to do that, but they never become free of it. So here, if we are studying the scriptures and our focus shifts from the world to the constant principle, then automatically all the sins, they automatically get wiped out. Why? Because they were not there in the first place. There is only one truth, and that is pure consciousness, the self that you are. Then what is this? This is just a, क्या कहेंगे?
Sure.
This is just a leela going on. Then he says, the next verse goes, न छन्दांसि रुजिना तारयन्ति मायाविनं मायया वर्तमानं नीडं शकुन्ता इव जातपक्षा छन्दांस्येनं प्रजहन्त्यन्तकाले. Those who are hypocrites, although studying Vedas, are not liberated from the sins. It is like when the birds have full-grown wings, they leave their nest. So also the Vedas leave such a person at the time of death. And what is death now? Here again you will ask, or you will be thinking, death is the death of the individuality. So, but no, but Mahatmas are realized they are still seen. The individual is still there for whom? I was just listening to our Swamiji's lecture on Discover Sai Baba. Just yesterday only he gave the lecture. And he says, Baba could manifest anywhere. And he sent one of his disciples to some faraway place. And he said, I don't want to leave you, I don't want to leave you. He said, get out from here. What? You don't want to leave me? मैं क्या सिर्फ इस शरीर में बैठा हूँ क्या? I am everywhere. And he went away, bit sad, started doing his tapasya. And one day suddenly Baba appeared. And he could see Baba everywhere. जहाँ पे मुड़ता है वहाँ पे Baba. See? And this is just like space is everywhere, inside and outside. Similarly, our Mahatma, the self is also everywhere. It is even more pervasive than space. But here it says, those who are hypocrites, although studying the Vedas. So who are these hypocrites? Who want to change others. Who are the hypocrites? Who want to make Vedas a business. Who are hypocrites? Who want something in return, in whichever way, for their survival by the use of Vedas. Such people, they are not free from sins, because what is the purport of the Vedas, that they have not understood. See, it is like when the birds have full grown wings, they leave their nest. Similarly, when we are fully matured, having studied the Vedas in the right manner, then we must fly away. Fly away where? Then everything drops away. The Guru, the physical Guru drops away, the gods drop away, the scriptures drop away, everything drops away, and only the Paramatma remains. Where? Within yourself. And then when you are when you are moving around, even the scriptures can't describe such a person. They say we have got no authority over such masters, such Sant Mahatma. They don't have any authority. Because of them, we the scriptures are. Scriptures say we cannot define who such a person is. Also the Vedas leave such a person at the time of death. And death is not a physical death we are talking about, but if it is achieved at the time of physical death, so be it. But the true death is like our Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. He was Devi Upasak, and whilst Devi used to give him darshan complete all the time, but he was also an experimentator, and he experimented with Christianity, he experimented with Radha Bhav, he started developing breasts, he started getting periods, then he had Hanuman Bhav, his spine started growing and the tail started growing, and after 6 months people said, "Arey, ye kya ho raha hai? Roko isko." Then they changed, and again it took another 1 year for everything to recede back. Such power of concentration was there. And such Ramakrishna Paramahamsa one day thought that what would be Vedantic approach to the life, and what will be a Vedantic Samadhi. And the moment he thought, within 3 days, Totapuri Maharaj came into his life, and Totapuri Maharaj said, "Okay, I got a drishtant, I got a dream that I should come here for this purpose. You are that person?" He says, "Yes." "Chalo, baitho." Bithaya, and he put him into meditation. He says, "Now cut the head of your mother." Mother means goddess Kali. He says, "I can't do that. This is blasphemy. I'll be committing the biggest sin. I can't do that. He says, "अच्छा." तो फिर अगले दिन फिर से बिठाया, या उसी समय बिठाया. फिर बोला, "Okay, tell me, where is the mother coming? How do you know the mother?" "Oh, I know the mother in my mind. I can see her." "So are you the mother, or you are separate from the mother?" "Naturally, I have to be separate from the mother." So in that mind, just like the mother is coming, you make a sword come. And power of concentration was there. He created the sword in the mind, and he said, "Now take that sword," and when I said, "Move it," And when he said it, he moved, and the head was of the goddess was cut, and Ramakrishna Paramahansa went for 3 days. He was in samadhi. He didn't come out of it. Formless. In our Patanjali Yoga Sutra, there are different types of samadhi. One is Drishyanu with Savikalpa Samadhi. Savikalpa means samadhi with a thought. So what is the thought? Thought of some name and some form. World is nothing but name and form, Nama Roop. So it was samadhi with a thought. You are fixated on a form, and there's no distractions, and you are at one ment with that form. Then higher than that is Shabdanu with Savikalpa Samadhi. When you are focused on the name. In Maharashtra, a lot of places, the Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para, you take the name of the Lord and go to the Paramatma. By taking the support of the name of the Lord, you transport yourself to the Paravani, and from Paravani you merge into the reality. In other words, the mind merges into the reality. Then after these two, first was Drishyanu with Savikalpa Samadhi, samadhi with the thought of a form. Shabdanu with Savikalpa Samadhi, again the thought is a word. And then comes Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Nirvikalpa Samadhi means where there is no thought whatsoever. And what our Ramakrishna Paramahansa experienced was Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But it was so consuming for him. Many people go through Nirvikalpa, but after they come out, they are still caught up because they have not purified themselves completely. But his was so deep that after going into Samadhi, when he came out, he contemplated, and he still continued talking, dancing, jumping. And Totapuri Maharaj was a yogi, Gambhir. And he says, Are, you didn't experience? He says, I did. Then how come you're doing all this? Talking, answering questions. Hey, you should be in silence. Now you experience the silence. He says, what I have experienced is not against silence or sound. Totapuri Maharaj had not experienced that. Then he stayed there for few weeks. Then Ramakrishna Paramahansa became his guru. He kept watching him. What is this fellow made up of? That sound and no silence, both don't disturb him. He has gone beyond that. नहीं तो मंदिर देखा, ध्यान में बैठ गए, भीड़ में बैठे तो डिस्टर्ब हो गए. नहीं, फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए. उसके लिए whether you sit quiet or you don't sit quiet, you close your eyes or you don't close your eyes, that is the highest Sahaj Avastha. That is in and through your daily life, you are continuously in that I won't say zone, in that conscious space. And this is what is meant here. So also the Vedas leave such a person at the time of death. Totapuri Maharaj then learned from Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and when he understood what was the sthiti, then with that he was complete, and then he went back to his samadhi. Is in behind Puri. There is a small hillock, and on the hillock the samadhi of Totapuri Maharaj is there. Very powerful place. Dhritarashtra uvacha na chedveda vedavidam tratum shakta vichakshana atha kasmat pralapoyam brahmananam sanatanaha. Dhritarashtra said, if suppose Sanat Sujatiya was our Swamiji Maharaj, he would have answered any question of his. Too many questions coming. So he says, if this is true, O Sanat Sujatiya ji, what you are saying, O wise one, the Vedas are unable to protect the knowers of the Vedas. Why do the learned ones proclaim such deceitful statements? So that means the Vedas cannot protect me from all the sins that I have committed by mistake or So why do other people say that you should pray to Vedas, you should do puja of Vedas, you should study the Vedas, and there in the Vedas it is Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures it is written that you should atone for your sins, and if you do study the scriptures, you study the Upanishads, then you will be free from all the sins. Sanat Sujato Vacha. There he says, Tasyaiva namadi vishesha rupaihi idam jagat bhati mahanubhava nirdishya samyak pravadanti vedaha tad vishva vairupya mudaharanti. Again and again, because the student is blind, the student is ignorant but interested in knowing the truth. Therefore, one must never put the seeker of the truth, seeker of the knowledge down. And therefore here he says that Mahanubhava, O great one. So, O great one. This world is essentially the specific names, etc. So what is this world? This world is made up of 5 things. What is that? Asti, Bhati, Priya, Nama, Rupa. What did we say? Asti means existence, Bhati means consciousness, Priya means bliss, Satchitanand ho gaya, and the other 2 are Nama, Rupa, name and form. Name and form is the world. Asti, Bhati, Priya is the constant principle. Water is the constant principle. Nama, Rup, wave comes and goes. So here he says, the world is essentially the specific names, etc., attributed to the Supreme Self. Very important point. Attributed to the Supreme Self. What is wave number 1, wave number 2, wave number 3? What is it? A specific name given to the infinite waters, isn't it? That water is in the water is outside the wave is nothing but water, then why are you not calling it water? Why are you calling it wave? Because your attention is on its form. Where there is form, there has to be name. Where there is name, there has to be form. And so here it says, the world is essentially the specific names attributed to the Supreme Self. This world is an appearance of specific names and forms, etc., superimposed on the Supreme Self. The wise contemplative masters describe the Self with reference to this illusion of creation and indicate the Self as of contrary nature. So, who is the constant within you? Are you constant or are you changing? I'm asking.
Changing.
Are you? So when you say you are changing, where is your attention?
Body.
Body.
Mind.
Body is changing, breath is changing, mind is changing. So why did you not think that you are also the consciousness when you answered the question? By default, our attention goes to the body, isn't it? So this body has been changing since child. Right now also your mind is continuously, the thoughts are changing. As I am speaking, the thoughts are coming in your mind, and one is going, second is going, third is going. They're only going, nothing is staying. But are you coming and going? No. So are you the changing or are you the constant? So if your body is changing and you know body is changing, it is your knowledge that childhood, teenage, youth, middle age, everything is coming and going. You know the breath is coming and going. You know the emotions and thoughts are coming and going. You know the convictions are coming and going. Ideas, etc. are coming and going. Waking, dream and deep sleep is coming and going. And who is this person who is the constant? Do you feel when you talk about coming and going, it's always about something, isn't it? With reference to something you say. You never say, I am coming and going. The waking came and went every day. dream came and went. You don't say I came and went. So that means there is some constant principle within you. So like for example, अभी यहाँ पे two families are there. So Abhay is there. Abhay is a husband to his wife, a father to his son. He is a father-in-law to his daughter-in-law. 3 roles he is playing here. He is shuffling between the 3 roles. All of them are demanding attention. But is he the 3? Or are these 3 roles superimposed on the one person called Abhay? Isn't it? Exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. All the names and forms of the ornaments is superimposed on the gold. All the names and all the waves are superimposed on the waters. All the pots, our Upanishads say, all the pots are superimposed on the mud. You are touching mud, but you are calling it pot. You are touching gold, but you are calling it ornament. You are touching water, but you are calling it wave. You are touching Paramatma, but you are calling it an object also. You are Paramatma Swarup, but you are calling yourself a body because you have superimposed the body. By default, you are thinking, I am this changing body. So here, this illusion of creation is absolutely contrary to the nature of the reality. What is the reality? Reality is that which does not change. Reality is that which is infinite. Reality is that which never comes and goes. Reality is that which has got no name and form. Which reality is that which is self-knowing. Reality is that which has got no doubts and confusions. Now decide, you are that, what I just said. Everything else is a superimposition on yourself. Why? You got fixated on that idea. Get out of it. Tadartha muktam tapa different tune. Tadartha muktam tapa etad ijya tabhyam asau punyam upaiti vidwan punyena papam vinihatya paschat sajayate jnana vidipitatma. He says, Sanat Sujatiya says, the Vedas are declared tapas and yajna, austerities and sacrifice for the attainment of this Brahman. By this, the wise one acquire merit and then negating the sins, thus attain the ever-shining knowledge. In other words, he is one with reality. So what is this? The Vedas are declared tapas and yajna. Our scriptures, the Vedas, the Upanishads, they are very, everything is coded. So the word tapas and yajna is also code. And it has been left to the humanity. You work out what you think tapas and yajna is. They are given the definition, but that is also camouflaged. So majority of the people, what do they understand as tapasya? Meditation. Some people understand, Buddha also did tapasya. His understanding of tapasya was that not eat and drink for so many days, completely famished. And then one day he was so thirsty, he was crawling to the lake, and one Vaishya came and she looked at him and he asked, can you give me some water? I'm about to, I can't, don't even have the energy to go there. She says, are you stupid? You should live a balanced life, so that you are self-sufficient to maintain. You don't have to famish yourself and don't eat or drink. Eat little, but have enough energy to do what you want. That clicked. Then he started his idea of balanced life, mindfulness. The middle way. That's when after the message got was from the Vaishya, and then the middle way began for Buddha. So that was his tapasya. Some people like our Satyanand Maharaj from Bihar School of Yoga after starting all the ashramas in all different countries, mainly in Australia. And after that he went back and he said, itna bada ashram kar diya, school, universities, gurukul, this, that, and he was enough of it. Now what to do? When he crossed 60, he went into the forest about 12-13 kilometers from his ashram, built a small kutia, dropped everything. He handed it over to Niranjanananji Swami, who is the present head, and himself did tapasya. What tapasya? Every day 8 hours. One fire on the top called sun, 4 fires around him, and he's sitting in the middle and doing what? Ram, Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. अरे पहले ही कर लेते. That was his sense of tapasya. After so much, so many siddhis, so much he did for the world, but in the end he thought he has to do that. See? So that is another way. Another tapasya is what? People do Chandrayana Vrat. करते हैं ना? With the on the no moon day they will not eat. On the first day they will only eat 1 spoon of food. Then the second day of as the moon is growing, then they will do 2. On the 15th day they will eat 15 spoons of food. Then again on the 16th day, full moon day, पूरा दबा देंगे. And after that again 14, 13, 12, and they keep, and that purifies your. They think that is the tapasya. And doing the various navaratris, this, that, all that is tapasya. Yes, true tapasya is what? You have heard of all this, no? जो मैं बता रहा हूँ. So what is true tapasya?
Stay established.
See, Brahmaji also did tapasya. I'll come back. Brahmaji also did tapasya. When he came out of the navel of, the lotus came out of the navel of Narayana, he was sitting. Brahmaji looked front, अरे कोई भी नहीं है. पहला मुंह आ गया. इधर मुड़ के देखा, कोई नहीं है. Another face came. पीछे मुड़ के देखा, पीछे भी एक face आ गया. He had 5 faces. He looked everywhere, 5 faces. Then he says, यार, where am I? Who am I? कौन हूँ मैं? Koham. Then he says, started thinking, what is my origin? What is my source? And he closed his eyes, went into himself, went into the lotus, went into the navel. There is, oh my God, even vaster space. And while he was there, he couldn't see Narayana. Narayana is infinite. So suddenly he heard Akashvani there. 1721. 1721. उस समय numbers थे होंगे. They mean 17th alphabet is the T and 21st alphabet is the P. Tap karo. So he came out. Oh, okay. But because he's come from Narayana, he understood tapasya. What is my purpose? Why am I born? You know why you are born? Is it only to produce children and do Kailash Yatra? What is your purpose? Is it to make money, to have businesses, or travel the world, or keep ticking your bucket list which never ends? Because you keep adding to it. So what is your purpose? Brahmaji had the same question, but he was wise. He went, he did this, did the tapasya, and it was revealed to him. Your purpose is to create the creation. And he started creating. And he experimented. The first experiment was the Sanat Kumara, the Sanat Sujatiya who were answering. The first 4 were born. From childhood itself, they are sannyasis. And they were devotees of Lord Narayana. Then he said, yaar, sannyasi creation आगे कैसे बढ़ेगी? Multiply कैसे होगी? Then Naradji was created. Naradji also, he went and studied all the knowledges, but in the end, he came to his brothers. He said, man, I studied all the 64 Vidyas, but they say, yeah, we know you are still feeling emptiness inside you. He says, yeah, how did you know? No, you have not fallen in love. That's why you are feeling that. So Naradji says, love, what is that? I know, he is 64 knowledge. He is the best, warrior and musician and poet and everything. All knowledge is at his fingertips, but he is not satisfied. So knowledge does not satisfy you. So then he was told, now you have to fall in love. Or how do I fall in love? Chant Om Namo Narayanaya. And then he discovered love. And he became devotee of Lord Narayana. Again problem, creation will not expand. Brahmaji was in trouble. Then he invoked his Shakti, Saraswati. Saraswati is knowledge, no? So she said, hey, hello, if you keep going like this, you will only create sannyasis. Sannyasis के साथ creation नहीं बढ़ने वाली. Then what should I do? You make someone like us. So then he created Manu and Shatarupa. This is tapasya we are talking. So when you take your life also as tapasya, everything happening with your as an offering to the Lord. He is not doing it because he has a desire. Brahmaji is not creating because he has a desire. Brahmaji is creating as an offering to the Lord Narayana. See? But still, such Brahmaji, every creation he becomes unmanifest, next creation again he has to manifest. Salvation कहाँ है? Salvation है ही नहीं. Then what is tapasya? Then what is tapasya? बोलो आप क्या बोल रहे थे?
To be established in the self.
हाँ,
So,
established in the self you are right now also. Then what is tapasya? Nobody can do tapasya and establish in the self. I correct you there. Nobody can do anything to be established in the self. Then what? But can you stop doing? You are addicted to doing, na?
So do it as a duty.
No.
as a surrender to something else, like a higher power, something like that.
Dissolution of your I is the highest tapasya. This arrogance that I am an individual, मैं, I, this has to be. Now find out. Some people find it as Brahmaji found it as Narayana. Our Ramakrishna Paramahans, he discovered. Yes, teacher came, he told, but he just didn't stop there. What he told, his understanding was much more than what his teacher told him. Understand? So dissolve your ego, and ego can only get dissolved when you attach with lesser and lesser things and live your life as a sacrifice, as a seva. Then the ego dissolves. You must live disturbance proof from everything and anyone. Then the ego dissolves. Second word here used is yajna. What do you understand by with this? We will conclude. What do you mean by understand by yajna?
Offering something
Sacrifice.
Offering to the Lord. How do you offer? Some people offer it by fire, isn't it? अभी हमने कल ही देखा था ना पशुपतिनाथ सोचो ह्यूज हवन कुंड. व्हाट डू यू कॉल दैट? दे कॉल इट यज्ञ. हम यहाँ यज्ञ कर रहे हैं. व्हाट दे वर डूइंग, चंडी यज्ञ कर रहे हैं. लास्ट ईयर एट हर मदर्स प्लेस, because they have learned the Chandi part with me over the years, and Samhita said, Swamiji, we will do Chandi yajna at home. And we are about 15-20 of us, and उसके पास एक हवन कुंड है. We did the puja, everything, invoked the fire, and the entire Durga Saptashati, verse by verse, we did it as a offering to the fire. मजा आ गया. 4.5 4 hours it took. 4-5 hours it took. But we are in no hurry we have to finish it. We were enjoying. There were some few small kids were there, grandparents were there, and all those who were interested, they were there. किसी को खाने की जल्दी नहीं है, किसी को कहीं जाने की जल्दी नहीं है. Just we started at 10 o'clock in the morning and concluded around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. मजा आ गया. Same thing we did with Bhagavad Gita one day. Again, offering in fire. This is one understanding of yajna. This is at a very gross level. Finer than that will be what yajna? See, many people do Agnihotra every morning. You heard of Agnihotra? जो संध्या बंदन करते हैं उनको छोटा सा होता है, अग्नि को प्रज्वलित करते हैं, दे डू द प्रेयर्स, दैट इज ऑल्सो यज्ञ. What else is yajna? Where else is fire available? Tell me.
We offer our 5 vikars
No.
to the yajna.
Can you? Yes, you can offer.
And isn't that like dissolving your ego?
Vikaras are many. There is no
Like,
end to
let's
it.
say, like just say, your vikars which are there, which you can offer one by one in the yajna.
Yeah, but how
Which
do you
because if one goes dissolves, other will
pop
surface
up?
up.
Correct. उसका
So,
अंत कब होगा? Can you remove all the waves from the ocean? कभी खत्म ही नहीं होगा. यही अपना मन है. But here we are talking about yajna. Yajna is for us, first is the gross, which is in the form of fire. Fire is the great purifier. So we offer, as she's saying, our vikaras. So when we are chanting the Gita and offering, or the Durga Saptashati and we are offering, or when we did Mahamrityunjay mantra and we are offering, we are offering some one aspect of ourselves. We don't have to name it, but with that name we know we are moving towards, we are purifying and moving towards the ultimate. But there needs to be a medium, and that medium is fire. And fire in our scriptures is the great purifier, because anything you put into it, it gets purified, burns away and turns into ashes. Where else can you find the fire?
Inside us.
Huh?
Wait. Inside us.
ब्रह्मार्पण. इसको फिर भूख लग गई.
पेट दिखाते ही
हाँ, this is another fire. This is another fire. There also you are offering the ahuti. So what we were doing, offering samidha and samagri, that was ahuti. Here the ahuti is of the food, and the fire in our tummy, it burns away and it nourishes us. Where else do you find fire?
sun.
Cremation is again outside. That is
How about the sun?
sun is also outside. I'm talking about inside, within you, so that you can go further. Outside का तो हो गया. So when you are outside, you do Gayatri mantra early in the morning. You offer the arghya to the sun. We do all that, isn't it? But it's far away. Then you come closer. You do it in the fire. Then you come closer. You do it to the tummy.
They say speech is also fire.
Good.
Is it tongue?
Yeah, speech
Good.
is fire, yeah.
Speech is also fire. Now, what type of speech? तू मैं वाली speech, or Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardanam. How do you feel after you chant it for 108 times? Pura, everything is vibrating within you. The heat generates. Sometimes you can even sweat because heat is generated. So this is called Japa Yajna. Greater than the fire sacrifice is the yajna done by the speech. So rather than talking about the world, talking about asking about someone's past or future ambitions, this that, अपना नाम जप लेके चलते रहो बस. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा. और ज़रूरी नहीं है, जब जो ज़्यादा लोग पूछने आए कि स्वामी जी आप कहाँ पैदा हुए थे, स्वामी जी आप कौन से शहर से हो, अपना जप तेज कर दो, हरे राम हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण. जैसे ही वो दूर चला गया, हरे राम राम राम. फिर कोई पूछे आ गया, फिर फटाफट बढ़ा दो. लर्न द ट्रिक्स ऑफ द ट्रेड. अपने आप को शांत रखना है, बिकॉज द मोर यू टॉक अबाउट योर पास्ट, द मोर यू विल बी स्टक in the body identification. See, तो जप और यज्ञ किस लिए कर रहे हैं, भगवान का नाम क्यों ले रहे हैं? अपने आप को प्यूरिफाई करने के लिए. अपना मन, let my mind be totally engrossed in the name of the Lord and let it purify me. And then this speech, which is of the nature of sacrifice, it is at 4 levels. That is, you said, you was telling here, so first is the gross speech. It is called Vaikhari. Then second is
Madhyama.
Madhyama. Where is the location of Madhyama? So gross speech is at the lip level. Madhyama is, where is the location? In the hollow of your throat. That is where the location of the Madhyama is. That is the subtle speech. So when your mouth is not moving, and if I have to say, यहाँ पे एडम एप्पल चलता रहता है ना, तो that is the location. This is the location. When there is, the sound has stopped erupting, but the possibility is still there. That is called Pashyanti. And where is the location of Pashyanti? It is your heart. And then when you go beyond the Vaikhari, the loud sound, that is the waking state. This point is the location of your dream state. This point is the location of your deep sleep state. And when you become the witness of all these three as a result of japa without going to sleep, then the sound is going slowly, it is tracing back to its source. So from outside it became subtle, from subtle it went to causal, from causal it goes back to its origin, to the navel, and from there the kundali, it goes back to the sahasrar to meet with the energy, the shakti, it goes back to meet with its beloved, because sound is shakti only. So that is the journey. Again another type of yajna. But sahasrar is again Bhagavan. So this is another yajna. So are we stuck only in the outside, in the names and forms and doing the yajna? Or are we clear that the yajna must purify me, and my journey must keep maturing from gross to subtle, subtle to causal, causal to beyond all the three? It must happen. If it is not happening, we are stuck somewhere. Because if this journey doesn't take place, ego will be there, reactions will be there, aspirations will be there. कहीं ना कहीं you will slip. एक बार लग जाओ पीछे और खत्म कर दो सब कुछ. So in this way he says, the Vedas have declared tapas and yajna, austerities and sacrifice for the attainment of this Brahman. By this the wise acquires merit and negating the sins, thus attain the ever-shining knowledge. What is that knowledge? Ever-shining knowledge? That ever-shining knowledge is our own essential nature. See? So purify. Purify का मतलब क्या है? अपने आप को क्या कहते हैं हिंदी में, झुलसाते रहो. Burn yourself. Live at such a inspiration level where you don't have time. भगवान का नाम लेते रहो and keep sacrificing your life for the creation or for the Lord, whichever way. And in this way, the knowledge is not gained from the world. The knowledge is not gained from the scriptures. Knowledge is not gained by tapasya. Knowledge is not gained by yajna. But the knowledge eventually, the only source of knowledge is the self, and self knows itself by itself. There is no need of words. There is no need of anything or person in order for knowledge to happen. Because we are in essence self-sufficient. Self is self-effulgent, self-illuminating. Right now, your eyes are illuminating me, my eyes are illuminating you. But when I ask you, can you see your own eyes? You can't see. But is there, yesterday also this topic came, but can you know that it is there? Yes. But can you see it? No. Exactly the same way. Have you are thinking, but have you seen the mind? Nobody has seen the mind. Yet you live in this belief that there is a mind. Exactly the same way. Till here we know. We accept also. Similarly, there is something called pure consciousness, the witnessing consciousness. That is your true nature. The wise are focused, are attentive towards that rather than anything else. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. This experience of mind being empty involuntarily you will experience in this journey. Not life journey, in Kailash journey. When you come in this is happening to you all the time, but it becomes starkly available to you when you come in presence of Kailash. In his presence, when you are circumambulating, when you are doing your parikrama, your mind will be empty. You're just as if you're witnessing the whole thing. Body is, for some time you'll think I am walking. I'm going to walk slow, I'm going to walk fast. After some time, body is walking. You're watching. सब कुछ हो रहा है, but you are just watching everything. वहाँ पे विचार meaning thoughts will not come to your mind, even if you want. It can happen. That time don't get scared, because we are not used to that.
मी म्हटलं असं जनाबाईने आपलं मराठीत म्हणलं जनाबाईने असं पीठ दळलं होतं भरपूर, तर ते जनाबाईचं म्हणणं की मी काही केलंच नाही, पांडुरंगाने येऊन पीठ दळलं, त्याचा अर्थ त्याच
करेक्ट, सिमिलर
नुसतं
त्यांनीच केलेलं आहे, त्यांनीच निर्माण केलं आहे. ही इज ओनली गोइंग टू टेक इट अवे, एंड इट इज हैपनिंग एवरी डे. यू आर नॉट रिकॉग्नाइजिंग इट. यू से भगवान कर रहे हो. अरे तुम ही तो देख रहे हो, भगवान और तुम अलग थोड़ी ना हो इन एसेंस. हरिओम.